Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the Milani Illuminating Face Powders in the Rose design. Okay, so I can't hold all three of them at once, but there are three of them and they are all available on the MilaniCosmetics.com website, so you do not have to rush everywhere looking for these. They work in conjunction, I guess, with the Coming Up Roses blushes, because Milani has this whole rose theme going on. So if you liked the rose blushes, you may like these, though these are much easier to work with and not as chalky as the actual blushes. So we have 01, which is Amber Nectar, and this one, as you can see, has a combination of gold and pink and like a soft white and a taupe. So this would be more of your highlight or bronzer, or they say you can use it as both, or even as a blush. Now on the back they give you a little instruction that simply says, use as a highlight for a brighter complexion with a lift from within radiant glow. And it says to kind of do like a football design, you know, like the football, like whoo, whoo. They say to do it like that, a little bit over the brow, under the brow, right here. I personally don't go through all that trouble. And then to use as a bronzer, apply it right here, and then kind of go around the face. Here, I'll show it to you guys again. And this is on the back of all of them. Now, I disagree with using them all as a bronzer or all as a highlight, but again, you can use a product however you want, however you feel comfortable, and however you feel it works on your skin tone. I personally, because I'm a lighter skin tone, use this as either my highlight or my blush, not so much as a bronzer. So let me swatch this one up for you. By the way, I've used this quite a few times, and I love that the design of the roses is pretty much unscathed, which is really nice. So I'm just swirling all of them around on my finger, and as you can see, I kind of have a nice glow going on. It's pretty subtle. I'm not even sure you're going to see it. Let me swatch it lower on my hand. I'm going to swatch it right here. It's really, really subtle. Do you see the subtle difference? It's extremely, extremely subtle. It's really just going to give you a dewy, soft look. It's really not, that's why I can't see it as a bronzer. I can definitely see it as a highlight that you apply to the apples of your cheek, maybe the center of your forehead, blend it out if you've contoured around here with a darker shade or a darker foundation, you know, with the usual, if you're doing the whole usual contour routine where you're contouring here and your cheek and everything, you would apply this to highlight the areas. Sometimes here down your nose. That's why I would apply this, but if you apply too much of it, you might look like you're sweating too much. So kind of use a light hand when you use this, because you can go overboard with this very quickly. But it's not stiff, it's not too soft, it's not too chalky, it's not too powdery. It's kind of a really nice combination of formula. I'm really impressed with this one. And again, this is 01 Amber Nectar. So the next one we have is number 2, which is Hermosa Rose. Is Hermosa pretty or something? Not pretty. Somebody once told me what Hermosa means. Can somebody just refresh me? Leave me a comment below and let me know what it means again, because I remembered it was something nice, but every time I hear it I'm just like, what does that mean? It has the same directions on the back. Now this one is a little bit darker. I personally use this one along my contour right here, and that's where I used it today. I used it to contour my cheek. I put it over. I usually use a cream to contour. I usually use a cream to contour, and then I set that with a mattifying powder, and then I place this over it just to add a little bit more dimension. But if you're medium skin tone, you could probably use this as a blush. If you're lighter skin tone, you could probably use this as a blush or a contour. And if you're darker skin tone, you could probably use this for whatever you want. But it would probably look really nice as either a blush or a highlight, more maybe a highlight. So let me swirl this one up for you. And this one, as you can see, contains a lot of similar colors: browns, deep pink. Instead of a golden color, it's more like a deep nude shade. I feel like this one doesn't contrast as much as the other one does. It's very similar shades in this one. So swirl it around, and as you can see, it's just a little bit darker. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit darker. So this one is Hermosa Rose, and this one is the Amber Nectar, and as you can see, this one just is a little bit deeper, a little bit darker. And last but not least, we have number 3, which is Beauty's Touch. And this one, I feel, is such a pretty blush, especially on my skin tone. If you're a lighter skin tone, you might find this as a really nice blush. And you have your light pink, your deep fuchsia pink, and then you have that golden, like taupey, off-white shade in the center. You have your mauve-y kind of shade. You have a lot of shades going on in this one that's going to create like almost a perfect blush when you put it against your skin because you have so many pigments combined together. So I feel like this could work on a lot of different skin tones, but on my skin tone I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm wearing it in conjunction with the Delizioso blush from Milani, the baked blush. If you've checked out my other reviews, you'll have seen that one. It's such a pretty pigmented blush, and this just adds a little bit of shine over it. I went for a very shiny look today, skin-wise. I want it to be very dewy today. So here's the pink, and as you can see, in comparison to the other shades, whereas the other shades were more like brown and golden, this one is noticeably pink. Here, I'm going to put it below too. So as you can see, it's just very pink. It's still got that shine and that reflection, but it's very pink in comparison to the other two. So I like all three of these together because I feel like you have a highlight, a bronzer, and a blush. If you're a light skin tone, you can use all three of these together. You have a really great dewy look. But if you like to mix things up, if you like to have your face like matte and you like to have matte and shimmer on your face, then you can use these with baked blushes or matte blushes, or just use one product at a time. You can pretty much use them for whatever. Now what I love about them is their affordability. They're about, I think, $6 or $8 on the Milani.com website, which is really, really affordable considering like a MAC blush or a MAC mineral skin finish is about $15, $30, no, it's $30. Their mineral skin finish is like $32 now, $30. So if you want something that's similar, where you're going to get that highlight, you can get that blush, you can get that look that's multi-dimensional without spending so much money, I would say check out the Milani, and they look great on your dresser, your vanity. They look very pretty. The rose gold, not the rose gold, but the gold packaging and the roses really make them attractive if you have them displayed. And I like these so much more than the Coming Up Rose blushes, which the Coming Up Rose blushes were beautiful to look at, but they were kind of hard to work with, whereas these, they're not as pretty as the Coming Up Rose blushes, but they're much easier to work with, and I like them. So the blushes are kind of matte, these are kind of dewy highlights. So that's the difference in the two products, if you guys are wondering. Thank you guys for watching. Please check out my Instagram. I'm going to be posting picture swatches there, and I have picture swatches at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm Recycled Stardust.